What happens when a technologically advanced alien hunter's equipment falls into the hands of his prey, either through carelessness or the hunter becoming the hunted? On the occasion this happens, the balance of power shifts, and not always for the better. In this video we'll be exploring the times that Yautja technology fell into human hands, what happened or what could happen. First, one of the most extreme cases we've seen yet, in the Predator Concrete Jungle video game from 2005, tells the story of a Yautja warrior who becomes known as Scarface, a disgraced predator seeking redemption after a catastrophic hunt on Earth. The year is 1930 and Scarface is dispatched to New Way City to perform a standard hunt where he targets Bruno Borgia, the city's most powerful crime boss. However, he becomes reckless and exposes his presence to the human world. In the process, Scarface is heavily injured, forced to abandon his advanced weaponry and tech, including his smart disc, spear and cloaking technology, which are left behind. These weapons fall into the hands of human gangs and the Borgia Corporation, who then study and reverse engineer the technology. The Yautja have a strict code of secrecy and honour, and Scarface's actions violated both by allowing their advanced technology to become public. His failure not only tarnishes his reputation, but endangers the secrecy of the entire predator species. 100 years later, after being exiled for a century as punishment, human gangs and corporations have built an empire on stolen predator tech, turning New Way City into a dystopian cyberpunk hellhole, renamed Neonopolis. Scarface is given a chance at redemption by the Yautja Council. His mission: return to Earth, eradicate all traces of Yautja technology, eliminate those who misused it, and restore the honour of the hunt. Along the way, Scarface uncovers the dark legacy of his failure, how human greed and violence were supercharged by predator tools. By the end, he has regained his honour, but not without facing the brutal consequences of his century-old mistake. Another, more widely known case, with possibly even larger implications, is the wolf predator from AVP Requiem, whose plasma caster is taken by a human and ends up in the possession of the Yautja Corporation. While we don't see directly what becomes of this technology becoming available to humans, the implications are massive. It is thought that this technology is the reason humans are able to engineer such advanced spacecraft by the time the Alien movies take place. In 2089, the earliest point we've seen yet in official canon, the Prometheus ship leaves Earth, being only 85 years after the events of AVPR. This does seem a very short time to go from our basic spacecraft, which barely leave Earth's atmosphere, to the kind seen in Prometheus, so it would make sense if this is the reason why we developed ships of this kind so rapidly. Also, one draft for a third AVP movie was going to use this plasma caster as the reason why humans became as advanced as they are by the late 21st century. Not every instance of a predator weapon coming into the possession of humans ends up with such large repercussions, as in the first Alien vs Predator, the Predator Elder actually willingly gives Lex Woods a ceremonial version of the combi stick, but this weapon does not really offer anything that we can't already make ourselves, as it doesn't feature any plasma or computerized tech something like a plasma caster or biomask would. It wouldn't really be of any consequence. Although, speaking of masks, the biomask of the Scar Predator would be recovered alongside the makeshift spear and some other Predator technology and weapons in 2018's The Predator, where we see them inside a glass display case. This movie is probably the one with the most Yautja technology coming into the possession of humans, as we actually see humans operating some Predator weaponry, with questionable results. The most important pieces of technology that humans obtain though in this movie have to be the Ark ship as well as the Predator killer suit. These certainly would have given humanity a massive leg up technologically, probably allowing them to militarily take on the Predators, which is hinted at towards the end of the film. In Predator 2, the City Hunter was shown to lose a number of his items, including his combi stick, plasma caster and biomask, which surely were found by the OWLF and studied. This Yautja is even defeated by his own smart disc, after Harrigan takes it from the rooftop. Moving back in time to Prey, the feral predator technically leaves behind his equipment when he is killed by Naru, but as his body sinks into the mud, it is not likely to be found, but will stay there buried, probably still there to this day. Instead, his head is cut off and taken by Naru back to the tribe as proof. What became of his head after? Would they dispose of it, or maybe keep his skull? The ultimate irony. Could his equipment be discovered one day and exhumed from the quickmud? There are some interesting possibilities. In Predators, the movie didn't take place on Earth, so there isn't much to discuss with that movie, unfortunately. Only the Jungle Hunter visited Earth and avoided any of his tech from possibly falling into the hands of humans, where after his battle with Dutch, he vaporized himself with his self-destruct bomb, leaving no trace. When Predator technology falls into human hands, it changes everything. Sometimes it gives us the upper hand, other times it just makes us more dangerous to ourselves. From street gangs waging war on one another using reverse-engineered alien weapons, to corporations building empires on stolen tech, these moments show just how easily the balance of power can shift. Personally, I think it's better when it doesn't happen though, as the Yautja are at their most terrifying and fascinating when they stay just out of reach. Their weapons, their rules, their culture, it all adds to that air of mystery. Once humans get their hands on it, some of that mystique fades, and maybe that's the real danger. Not just what we can do with their tech, but what we lose by trying to understand it too much. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.